So we're going to focus on slope-intercept form today, all right? Now, we've already gone over this, but let's just refresh everything, all right? Let's take a look at packet page 8. The do now is pretty straightforward. It just wants you to write it in slope-intercept form. Just a reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The m represents our slope, and the b represents our y-intercept. All right? And I put it in really pretty magical unicorn type writing, so then this way you can really pay attention and realize that y equals mx plus b is the format that we wanted in. So now let's take a look at example 1. Example 1 is pretty straightforward. I'm going to do the first one. It says you are given the slope and then you're given the y-intercept. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to do y equals, I know I have my slope is -2, and then I have x, and my y-intercept is positive, so plus 5. That's my answer. It doesn't get crazier than that. I literally took what I have and substituted it back into the formula. Let's move on to example 2. This gets a little trickier. As you remember, point-slope form is when you're given the point and you're given the slope. So you don't have a y-intercept. If you're comparing it back to slope-intercept form, you clearly are in a different format. So we need to change it so that we can get to the format that we wanted in. So let's take a look at this. We want to get it to y equals. So we want to get this little guy on its own, meaning we've got to get rid of everything else. So let's distribute first. So we get y minus 5 equals 3x plus 12. Remember, when you're distributing, you want to send it to everything in the parentheses. Y is still not alone in this case, so we still have to add 5 to both sides. So we get y equals 3x plus 17, and that is our final answer. You're going to go ahead and try number 8. Since you are handing in pages 8 and 9, I'm not going to give you all the answers, but we will just slowly go over it. Now, numbers 5 and 6, again, you're given the slope, you're given the point. So you actually have to put it into point-slope form because that's what you have, right? So let's try and remember. I know that point-slope form is when you do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we know our point is our x1, y1, and our m is our slope. So again, just notes to have on the side, so this way you make sure that you're solving everything correctly. All right, let's go back to our sheet. This is still page 9. So let's put it into point-slope form. We get y minus 3 equals -4x plus 1. I got that plus 1 because of the fact that this is a -1 here, right? And our original formula is subtraction, so that we need to simplify that. All right, now we have to rearrange it to get it to y equals. So let's distribute. If you notice a pattern, it's the same thing over and over again. See what you can do to simplify everything. Multiply it out. Rearrange, balance out the equation by bringing things left or right. So in this case, I'm adding 3. And I get y equals -4x minus 1. That is my final answer. And now it's in slope-intercept form. Another way you can get this type of problem, another way that you're going to be asked to write it in slope-intercept form is when you're just given 2 points. So a continuation of some notes is 2 questions. You want to focus on what do I have And then the second question is, what can I find? For all these questions, when you're rearranging one equation to another format and another equation to a different format, these two questions are so key, all right? Like DJ Khaled, major key right here. What do I have? For problem number 7, I have 2 points. Okay, what can I find? Well, usually with 2 points, what we do is find the slope. So why don't we try and find the slope? Remember, our slope formula is m equals, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You need 2 points, right? You need a 1 point, and then you need a second point. So in this case, we have 2 points. Let's go ahead and solve for slope. We get m equals -1 minus 5, 2 minus -2. So we get -6. This ends up being 2 plus 2. So we get 4, which then simplifies to -3/2. Okay, so now I'm going to ask myself the question again. What do I have? All right, now I have 2 points and a slope. What can I find? Well, whenever I have any kind of point and a slope, I can put it into PSF, into point slope form. All right, so let's do that. We get y minus, remember I'm using this one, y plus 1 equals -3/2 times x minus 2. Now, same rules. I'm going to distribute. So I get y plus 1 equals -3/2x. Remember, when you multiply fractions, you're just going to do it small over here. These cancel out, and I get a +3. I'm still not done. I got to balance it out from here. So I'm going to subtract 1 on both sides. So I get y equals -3/2x plus 2. That is my final answer. Ooh, let's not do that. There we go. I get this as my final answer. Now, some of you might be like, well, why can't we use the other point? Well, you can, because you're going to get the same exact answer. And I'm going to show it to you on the side over here. So if we do y minus 5 equals -3/2 times x plus 2. Let's distribute. We get y minus 5 equals -3/2 x minus 3. Okay, let's add 5 to both sides. We get y equals -3/2 x plus 2. Hey, we got the same exact formula from the other one, right? Like, we got the same exact answer. It doesn't matter what point you use. Now we're going to go over one more type of problem that you might see. It's when it's written in function form. So a key thing that you guys remember is f of x replaces y, meaning f of x is equal to y. So this whole thing over here is equal to y. All right, cool. This 9 is our y. Great. This -7 is our y. Awesome. So then what's our x? Well, if you thought correctly, right here. It shows it to us right here. It's telling you what the x is. So our 4 is our x and our -4 is our x. So right now we have a coordinate point. We have 4, 9 and -4, -7. I literally extracted that information from the function form. And now I'm going to solve it exactly like I did problem number 7 by finding the slope, by substituting it into point slope form, by then solving for a slope-intercept format. No matter what you do, your final answer, if you solve this correctly, is going to be y equals 2x plus 1. I'm giving you the answer, all right? Remember, you have to start to advocate for yourself and realize, well, what do I need practice on? What do I need help with? Every type of problem has been portrayed here, all right? Whether we have worked with function form, with what happens when you get 2 points, What happens if you have a point and a slope? What happens if it's in point-slope form? And what if it's, oh, well, I could write that in slope-intercept form. And the main thing are these two questions that you're going to want to remember. What do I have? What can I find? And that's always going to help you.